Today on the Gearhead Garden, we are going to look at the frontier elm tree. It's very vigorous, not so big, grows really well in warm climates, and does pretty good in the cold. Right now they're dropping seeds like crazy, which could only mean there are seedlings growing everywhere. I found some growing under some rose bushes at my local hospital, and I dug them up and brought them home. So if this is something you're interested in, let's get started. All right, here's a look at the trees. You can see they are filled full of seeds this time of year. How crazy is that? Or are those just dead leaves? I can't see, they're too high up there. But anyways, like I said, I'm at Costco. I am at Kaiser Permanente. You can see the hospital right over there. There's like Kaiser. You have all these great elm trees growing. And if these are seeds, and those are saplings, they're everywhere. So I noticed the other day, I grabbed a couple. So I posted a video. So I'm gonna go ahead and gather up some more of these as best I can. All right, I found an area where I could reach the seeds. So I've got a whole handful of these seeds. I'm gonna bring these back, see if we can propagate some of these as well. Okay, check it out. Last year they planted all these rose bushes here. And this year, they're sprouting all of these little elm trees. There's one deep inside here that I don't think I'm gonna be able to get out. There's too many thorns. But as you see, I got a good handful. And I got a couple more I'm gonna collect on the way out. Here's another good shot. Okay, here's one of these little elms growing underneath the rose bush. You can see another one over there, another one over there. I'm gonna go ahead and try and pull this one up, see if it comes. Nope, gotta leave that one behind. All right, I'm back from Kaiser. Here are my samples that I've pulled. All these are all strong roots. Look at that one. It's insane. That'll go in a bigger pot. You can see these have been cut off a number of times, or at least a couple times, and grown back again. This little guy's got some nice movement to the root. So I'm gonna go ahead and soak these in water for now. I'm just gonna pot them up, nothing special. Okay, today I was able to come up with 7 really good size, healthy frontier elms. This one I really like, super stocky. This one looks like a real tree. Same thing here, we got a good branch or two. So these continued, they were growing into, like I showed you, they were growing into the rose bushes. And when the gardeners came along, they would just snip most of them off. So this was like laying down literally. And you can see how many new ones grew. I don't want it to grow as a bush style, so most likely I'm going to remove these 4 and just keep this one since it's branching. And they're pretty tall. I really don't care about the height, but I would like to get more width out of them. So these that are twin trunk like this, I might tie them up and just cut the top off. Same thing with this one. I mean, this is just nice and tall. I might just snip off the top because I don't want them any taller than this. I might just go ahead, since winter's going to be coming, they're going to drop all their leaves. Might cut off each one of the tips of all of these. And some of these may just go back to one stalk. I haven't really planned that far ahead yet. But first off, I got them each in 1 gallon in my soil. I've got them all labeled Frontier Elms. I went and checked with the landscaping guy, and they told me those were the trees, so I went back. All right, so I'm going to snip a few of these off. You don't really need to watch me do it, but I'll show you kind of what I'm doing. Like I said, these tall ones are just going to get snipped about that high. Same thing with this one. Same thing here. I don't want it that tall. I'd rather have it branch out. So we'll cut it there. And I'll take a closer look and cut up a couple more pieces. Okay, these all basically look the same, where you can see it has been cut off and regrown and cut off a few times. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of these 4 and patch it up with some wound sealer and just keep this one as a top branch. So let's see if I can do that with these scissors. Okay, so here it is, all trimmed up, cut paste on the wounds. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a stick. I've got to find one a little bit taller, just so I can support this a little bit, at least through this first season, to give a little strength. So that's basically what I'm gonna do on each one of these. Dig down below the roots. I'm gonna cut all the suckers away on the ones I prefer to cut. Some of them I might leave as a group. I don't know if that's kind of cool. This one on the back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the phone down. As you can see, I'm gonna have a ton of scions. Funny. Okay, now we're gonna take a look at the bases. This one I decided not to cut because this twin trunk's pretty cool. You know, it's actually a quad trunk, so it's got these two little ones on each end. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this to about this height here. These two branches are crossing over and hopefully they'll correct themselves. Okay, on this twin trunk, I don't want to tie anything up just yet, you know? So I've taken a couple pieces of bark from the ground cover and I'm just wedged it in there so they kind of grow and separate themselves into different directions, all by themselves. And then I'll just put them back over here and let them sit for a while. Okay, as far as this one, I cut all the suckers off, a little wound paste on there, same here. This one I didn't want to touch. I'm going to pull a little bit more of the inside growth off and let this one grow more broom style, but I will cut all the tips off. This one's going to get chopped, and this one is going to allow it to grow like a kind of informal upright. And I'm going to go ahead and crop all those as well. Then I got to find sticks to put in each one of these. Okay, there was one other tree that was gathered this morning, and this was the biggest one. So I've actually put this in a short pot, and this one I'm just gonna allow to grow whichever way. Not sure what I'm gonna do down here. As you can see, you kind of got a reverse taper, so technically all of these should come off and just grow as one, but it kind of looks cool as a big tree like that. So I'm gonna let that sit in this big pot. Put this over underneath the orange tree where it gets the most sun because it had a ton of roots on it, and just let that grow. I'm not even gonna mark the pot. That's just gonna be a nursery tree. Over here, everybody's trimmed, cut down to exactly where I want them. And those are just gonna be put away, again, over here someplace where it's gonna get a lot of sun because these also were all had roots. Now, as far as all my cuttings, I mean, I can't seem to throw these things away, so I'm gonna go ahead and just root harm on these and put these in a pot and just put these at the back of the yard and see what happens and see what roots and what doesn't root come springtime. I may just crop it all off so it's all even at the top. There, I just chopped them all off and I'm gonna put them in a pot and see what grows. I've noticed that these leaves will die off immediately, but I have areas over here where it's gonna stay nice and cool and prosper. I was kind of thinking of putting in the same. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it into this pot so I can keep these all 6 together. Since that one's just one little scraggly one, I gotta put a stick in it anyway so it doesn't get busted over. I might as well just root these and see what happens. The rest of these cuttings, sorry guys, you're going down. I've got so many. These are the 3 trees that I picked up my favorites. This one, I mean, it looks just like the trees that they have growing on site right there. I'm gonna do a little manipulating to get this branch to sit down a little lower, but that's an awesome tiny little tree. I love tiny trees. This is the multi-trunk one that I'm gonna let grow. That's kind of amazing. And this is the one I got yesterday that I wasn't sure exactly what these were, so I just called it Kaiser Elm. And this one I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with, but that one's growing vigorously. All right, so that's it. This is finding frontier elm in the wild on the GEARHEAD Gardener Not sure if we're going to have another follow-up on these, but I imagine so. So we'll look at part 2 at another time. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me along this venture as I create trees and work on old Volkswagens in my retirement. Thanks for watching. Filet TV.